Hello, you noble people. My name is The Noble, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing 100 Line Last Defense Academy. I actually made a video a little bit ago talking about this game, so I want to do a brief recap of this game and why I made that video before we fully dive into the actual review. 100 Line Last Defense Academy is the spiritual successor to the Danganronpa franchise, and if you've seen my top 10 video, you're gonna know I love Danganronpa, even though I don't really like some of the games. I really hate Ultra Despair Girls, don't play that one, and I also don't care too much about the final one, V3. The ending kind of fell off, but I'm not gonna jump into that. I still love the games with the premise of the executions, the murder mystery stuff, the story, the characters. It's really fun. And unfortunately, the creator has had a track record of not really being able to get out of Danganronpa. The new game Rain-Code that they made was not the best. It was like passable, but it definitely felt like they were still trying to like bait the audience with stuff that was Danganronpa while not trying to like make anything kind of original, and it kind of fell off and didn't do too well, to the point where they were actually going to file for bankruptcy if 100 Line Last Defense Academy didn't sell well. And that's kind of where we get back to the video that I made a little while ago. I made that video trying to convince people to actually buy it, and at the time that actually did really well on the channel, considering I only had around 200 something subscribers at that point, so actually did fairly well considering the amount of subscribers that I did have, because I was worried. Well, yes, I didn't really like Rain-Code too much. It wasn't up to the levels of Danganronpa. I still wanted to see the actual creators still have success with other games, and I didn't want him to go bankrupt because a game didn't look well. So I decided, yeah, I'll promote this, I'll play it. I was considering doing it as a video or as a series, but unfortunately this game is insanely long, and I would still probably be playing through the entire game if that was the case, because it is insanely long and probably better than Danganronpa. And I do know that is a loaded statement. People either love Danganronpa or hate Danganronpa, and like I said, since it is one of my favorite games, you can trust me when I say that I actually really like this game. There's so much interesting stuff going on, and the big tagline with this game is it turns into different kind of styles of game, with it being either murder mystery, a battle simulator game, like a zombie horror survival. There's so many genres, and that being said, with there being so many genres, I kind of really can't talk about the game without going into spoilers. So for the rest of this video, I am going to kind of do spoiler stuff with it. I'll try and remain vague, but I am still going to spoil some big plot details on the entire game. So if you do think that this game catches your interest, I would recommend getting it and playing it and then coming back, because it's really hard to talk about this game without getting the spoilers. This is like the 4th time I've tried to record this video, and I just can't talk about it without getting into spoilers, like even a little bit, without you just being like, I don't understand what's going on. So I'm gonna have to unfortunately get into spoilers, but that is your warning. The main premise is that you are stuck in Last Defense Academy for 100 days, hence the 100 in the name, and you will have to fight these school invaders to protect a thing in the defense room of the school that is charging enough power to do something on day 100. I won't specify what, because I want to stay at least somewhat vague, but the main crux of this entire game is the fact that it takes place within these 100 days. The first time you play the game, you really don't get any decisions. However, on the day 100 of the first time playing through, the ending really isn't satisfactory. Characters that are meaningful die, the ending really isn't good, the thing that was charging in the defense room ends up not working, so Takumi, the main character, time travels, which allows him to go back to day 2 and try and rewrite the 100 days to make it better, to make it so that he can get to day 100 with everyone alive and try and make the perfect 100 days he can possibly make. And in doing so, the choices have consequences. One choice you can make can suddenly take you down a path where everyone in the school dies, including Takumi. You can have it where some characters die. You can have it where it's a murder mystery, where you're constantly fighting. There's a dating simulator route. There's so many different routes that you can go down when you replay the game. And it's a lot of fun, and the story and involvement is really, really intense. I have not played too many of the endings. I played through, like I said, the first 100 days because you're kind of required to do that before you can make any decisions. And I have done the second scenario, which is usually considered the route if you want to get the most knowledge and most lore. I did that one first, and I also did the SF route and all of the story locks ones. The SF route is considered the true ending, and you need to play the Box of Calamity route and the mystery route to be able to unlock that one. And I played all of them, and I had a blast, and the SF route is definitely probably the best ending in the game, and I had a lot of fun with it. When it comes to the Danganronpa creators and creating characters, they have kind of had the nail in the coffin when it comes to making really, really good, well-written characters for the most part. A lot of people pick out like characters like Junko and like Kyoko and stuff like that to show like, here are really cool characters that people love, but then they tend to forget about some of the really bad characters. And with this, I actually want to say that they did really well, especially compared to Raincode. Raincode just kills off half the cast of characters so they don't have to bother with development, while as Last Line, it's based off of your own actions. So if you can try and keep everyone alive by going down the different route and making it better, you can get very good development with all the characters. And all the characters are really diverse and have their own backgrounds, own personalities, and are really fun. There are some outliers that are noticeably definitely the worst and definitely the best for me, at least. If you've played the game, you're probably going to know why I don't like Emma. It's the incest weird stuff. It doesn't get full blown. It's not like Koryu and Danganronpa 3 bad. It can, maybe it does get to that point. I do know one point in the second scenario ending, he does something a little weird. Nothing has been full out like really weird, like where I want to turn off the game and not play the game anymore weird. That actually almost happened with V3, where I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep playing the game anymore after that, because it just made me feel really uncomfortable, and I'm like, why did they choose that? Luckily, he doesn't get that full blown. And he does have some interesting development in the mystery route. I think the stuff that I did with him in the mystery route is actually pretty cool, and I did like that development. Unfortunately, it's obviously all circulated around Kako, his twin sister, and I don't really like that too much, but he's definitely not the worst character because he at least has a couple redeeming qualities. Yep, that's right. Gaku has no redeeming qualities. I like him less than the character who likes his sister. That probably encapsulates how bad this character is, and he's purposely written to be bad. It's insinuated through the internal dialogue that Takumi has, the main character, and even some other characters with how they act to him, that everyone kind of hates him. It's also kind of insinuated that Takumi would not care if he died, which is kind of funny. He just has no redeeming qualities. He's a pervert, creep, weirdo, and he just, like, the only thing I think he did was in the first 100 days, and the first 100 days to me don't matter too much because they are like the first introduction to the game, and it wasn't even that big of a thing that he did, so I could pretty much care less. Already one of my least favorite endings of the game is where you become buddy-buddy with him and you become like best friends with him. That is by far my least favorite ending because you just have to like stand next to him. I've pretty much completely skipped all of the dialogue in that ending because I just wanted it to be over. Every single line was just him saying something incredibly weird and creepy, and I just was completely over it. But that being said, the fact that there are only 2 characters that I don't like means all the other characters are pretty good. I would say every other character from here on out is B tier or A tier or S tier. That especially goes for my favorite characters. My number one favorite character is Hiroko. I love Hiroko. She is just an amazing character, especially in the SF route or Steady Fundamental route, which is the most likely the true ending. I didn't really say this earlier, but there is no confirmed true ending. It's whatever ending you want to be, which I do feel like is a little bit of a cop out, but that is what some of the developers have said according to what I have like researched about stuff, because I did want to try and find out what was the considered the actual true ending. But I'm just gonna say that the SF route is the true ending. But the story that she has in that route, and even some of the other routes interconnected, she has so much going on that it's kind of hard not to like her character. And compared to the other characters, and do mind you, I have not done all of the other routes yet, and there are definitely some routes that focus more on other characters as well. So I haven't really like done too much in depth with other characters, but I don't think they're going to one up Hiroko with just how much of like a flawed and well written character she is. It's not just like a stereotypical flat one note character. She has depth, she has flaws, there is like internal dilemma that she has, and it's actually very well written comparative to some of the other Danganronpa characters. Even Danganronpa characters that I do like, with Nagito. I do love Nagito, but it's not a case of Nagito is insanely well written. He's pretty well written, but to the point where Hiroka feels like she shouldn't be in this game. She's that well written. My next favorite characters are Noizumi and Eito. I really don't know which to put higher. They're so different of characters that it's really hard to pinpoint what I would say I like about them to make them higher up than one other. Noizumi complements the main character Takumi in terms of personality and motivations, while Eito is kind of a foil to Takumi and the main character. He's like the complete opposite. Obviously, I'm not gonna specify why. I want to at least keep the spoilers at least somewhat vague in case you do want to play it. But the case of it is they have insane character arcs, insane character growth, insane story. I kind of thought originally when first playing through the first 100 days, even the second 100 days to some extent, I thought Noizumi was going to just be the stereotypical childhood friend character, because that was kind of what she was kind of be written up towards, but it kind of 180'd around what her character was going to be about, and it developed in an interesting way. And Eito definitely does a 180 as well with his character, but he even does another 180 for like a full 360 character arc, and the endings with him that I have done are really interesting to really weird. So I am interested to see what other endings and other possibilities there is with his characters specifically. And I think they're very, very all well-written characters. Now, I do want to point out all the other characters that I haven't mentioned are still good. However, I don't really want to like rank the characters. Maybe this would be a video that I would do after I finished with the entire game, and then I would rank the characters or whatever, but I obviously haven't played the entire game just yet. But they are definitely the top characters, and they incorporate into the story really well. The battle system is very solid. I think people have said it's reminiscent of Fire Emblem, but I have not played Fire Emblem, so I can't say if that is correct. And it is very solid and intuitive, and I think it's very satisfying, especially when you upgrade a certain characters to make them very strong. The characters that I like to upgrade are just the main character Takumi, because his ultimate can do like upwards of like 20 something damage with if you upgrade it properly, and I think that's a lot of fun. I will say, though, I haven't played as much as the battles as I should have, considering me and my brother actually did get this game together, technically. He only wanted to play a couple of the routes with me and said that I could play the rest of the routes by myself, but one of the primary things he did when we would play together is he actually was the one doing the actual battles, because he likes doing these types of things, while I did more of the other minigame-esque stuffs, like the persuasion Asian stuff, so he didn't really play with that, and I didn't really play with the battles. But that being said, the battles that I didn't skip when I replayed it for other routes are fun, and I did have a lot of fun playing it, and the battle system feels like it's going to be complicated at first, and then it gets really intuitive down the line. And all in all, this game is very solid. As of right now, I feel like ranking the game when I haven't really finished it and giving like a proper score isn't really worth it. More or less, this video is just going to be saying that my money is worth it. This is 100% worth the money. This is around a $60 game, which yes is expensive, but considering that I am only like 50, I think I said I have like 53% Steam achievements done, and I have I think 115 hours in the game, means that I still have almost half the game to go when it comes down to playing these endings. So this game is like a 300-hour long game, and it definitely is really fun, and I'm definitely gonna like trying to play this. Let me guys know if you actually want to see me live stream any of the routes. I'll have to pick a route that hopefully won't be bad for the channel. This game is an M game, and some of the content and some of the endings I know is probably not good for YouTube, let's just say that. So I will have to pick and choose. Let me guys know if you would want to see that. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making this video. Stay noble. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.